See, you can see me in the corner right there.
Oh, yeah. That's what we like, that way you in there, too. I'm going to have to trim up again.
Hey.
I don't like it like that. You know, I used to not wear one.
Too short, now.
Used to, I wouldn't wear a goatee too long. Wow. I really wouldn't. I just always just kept clean shaven and,
too baby face. I said too baby face.
No, I ain't got no baby face. It's just.
I'm just saying, like, it's just a clean shave on anybody. Then
no, I don't go that route. Hey, Alice.
Hey, Alice.
No, I don't go no. Now I'll shave here and there and stuff, but I leave my goatee. But used to, I didn't have a long goatee. I really didn't. And not a thick mustache either for years. How you doing?
How are you?
We've kind of got suckered into something else. That place we got that truck from, we had to get full coverage before we could leave the parking lot with it. Hey, Donna. Been sick. Hey, Lynn. Lynn says, hey. They had us to pay that $550, for it would be a $1,700 down payment. And when we paid that $550, well, we didn't have the money to pay that $100 and something worth of that full coverage insurance. They called my sister today and told me that they needed proof of insurance. And I sent them a pic of what I had. I got liability. I mean, I want full coverage, but since we had to give them that lump sum, we didn't get to do that. So I told her, I said, you just have to wait. I told her, I said, as soon as we can do it, probably be next Thursday or so. And so if anybody wants to buy any merch, any of this stuff, jewelry, whatever, some shirts, let us know.
Yeah, the drawer is right here beside me.
Yeah. Because we're going to have to get some full coverage insurance. And since I've already got full coverage over on it, I probably won't have to pay much more over for the down payment. But the payment monthly probably about $120. Well, I don't know, because my white car I had full coverage on it, and it just $112 a month. So truck probably around that or so, shouldn't be. But whatever the down payment is, we don't know yet. So if anybody's interested in buying anything, right now we need it. Because from that place, you have to have full coverage. Like I said, they wouldn't even let us leave. Yeah, they wouldn't let us leave without full coverage. We went across the road before we got the truck at that insurance company and got full coverage. Well, when time rolled around to pay for that first set of payments, we had to pay an extra $550 in one lump sum because they wanted $1,300 down for the truck. So we had to pay that plus the sales tax and state tax. And I told them, all I can do right now is liability. So I'll try to come up with it and do it by Thursday. So they're only giving us a few days. So if anybody wants any of this stuff right here, I got one like this left. I've got two white ones left. Let's see. We got jewelry. We got, what was that, JSV joggers? The gray ones?
Yes.
Got JSV joggers. What was the other one? That red shirt is JSV, even around the back of the collar, right?
Yeah.
So we have a JSV black in the front, and then white letters on the back, JSV. So we got a few pieces of clothing too. So, hey, Connie, hey, everybody. Hey, Donna, Sabina, Lynn, Alice, everybody. Um,
I'm over in the corner.
If, like I said, if anybody wants to buy anything, now's the time to try to do it because we daggone need it. We've got to have that full coverage. So we need us a little bit of help around here. Um, we can sell them birdhouses. Um, there's, I still got a little bit of YouTube stuff that I can sell. I got a front and rear camera that goes in the vehicle. That's pretty neat. Um, other than that, it's like, um, well, I got that guitar. Um, ones that's got husbands and whatnot. I've got knives and all that good stuff. But yeah, they're not going to let us buy with just liability. So again, if anybody wants to buy anything, I wish you'd do so because we need the help. Um, we're going to listen to about 3 uh, clips here on Hey Lisa on Jack and Lily. And I'm going to show you the covers of them first. Um, I know it would be this way. We've talked about it. We were even getting in the middle pretty good before Scotty Wayne got here today. And anyhow, I'll show you what they found lanes they put in between barges at Old Hickory Dam in Cumberland River at 7:30 this morning. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Well, this isn't here as a breaking development. Just have to look at the parents' confessions. That's one. Here's one. The rumors were true. Then where'd it go? Where'd it go? Jack and Lily Sullivan, the plus tax, uh, the lies break through um, now to the public that's been waiting. So, yeah. Says totally surprised. They just haven't said so on that one. I was wondering when I figured it wouldn't take long once they took that baby from her. Yeah, I told you. I told you. I told you.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. They're doing that just put the pressure in on them. But that's what they need to do. They need to go ahead and get them up in jailhouse. And that way, they can interrogate them right there and get in some good investigators. Well, I hate hearing that. I hate seeing that picture yesterday too. looked at. But here we go, guys. See what they got to say.
We used a spectrum savings calculator before.
Was that something of a surprising admission?
It was an absolute shock to me, to be honest, because I'm thinking after 5-6 days, there's a good chance they're still alive. The weather hasn't been that bad. I've seen searches where people have been 2 weeks in the bush under horrendous conditions. One man was legally blind and still alive. So you just never give up. So to make that statement also makes me think that they're suspecting something more than a couple of children lost in the bush.
Good Lord. They need to cut that music out. We don't need none of that junk. Crazy bunch of nuts.
When RCMP officers responded to a 911 call on the morning of May 2nd, 2025, they arrived at a rural property in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, where the caller, believed to be a parent, reported that 2 children were missing from the home. What followed has been widely criticized as one of the most inadequate initial responses to a missing persons report in recent Canadian.
Well, now, even authorities apologize for not getting on it sooner and doing a thorough search of the home and close around. And, you know, they walked by that spot where they found remains by the pipeline several times. I guess until a dog actually finally hit on it. I don't know.
In history. Despite the fact that the children had reportedly been missing since the previous evening, no Amber Alert was issued. There was no immediate perimeter established, no roadblocks, and no organized community search launched within the critical first hours. The home was not locked down as a potential crime scene, and police did not issue a public notice until well into the day. Within 48 hours, the RCMP's lack of urgency became the central focus of national media coverage. Critics pointed out that the children were both under the age of 10 and that the RCMP had not early response, led many to suspect that key evidence could have been lost or overlooked. Throughout May, the investigation remained formally classified as a missing persons case, but public confidence in that assessment continued to erode. By the time June arrived, experts and journalists were openly referring to the case as a potential criminal investigation in all but name. Police had not made any arrests nor identified any official suspects. However, behind the scenes, forensic units and behavioral analysts had reportedly begun re-examining the family's movements, communications, and statements made in the early days. The case had stopped being just about a disappearance. It had become a test of public trust in the institutions meant to protect children. In the first week of June 2025, the RCMP launched a new targeted ground search connected to the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. While officials have not revealed the exact start date, sources close to the investigation confirmed that activity began in early June, with search teams focusing on a wooded region several kilometers from the Sullivan home in Lansdowne Station. This was the first noticeable escalation in police activity in nearly a month, following heavy public criticism over the lack of progress and transparency in the investigation. The location, while not officially disclosed, is believed to have been identified through a combination of an anonymous tip received in late May and a review of prior witness interviews. RCMP officers were seen near logging trails and backroads in the Lansdowne region, and local residents reported the presence of RCMP vehicles, ATVs, and drone teams in the area. The search did not involve volunteers or public appeals, suggesting the operation was targeted, not general. Though police have not commented on specifics, it's confirmed that forensic recovery experts and canine units were deployed. Several pieces of equipment were also brought in, including thermal imaging drones and digging tools, raising speculation that officers were looking for buried or concealed evidence. Notably, the RCMP have remained tight-lipped about the search's purpose and scope, only acknowledging that it was based on what they called a reassessment of prior information. Footage from the area showed officers removing sealed evidence bags, though the RCMP...
Right there. They were seen moving evidence bags. I believe they already got DNA. If that's the case, that's why they went ahead and took the baby. Because when it comes out, I'm not saying it will be, but it could be, if they're mad enough, it could be a standoff, and they don't want that baby in the middle of that. No Amber Alert, no coverage in the UK. Was looking for a Concerned Live channel. Well, right here it is, love. We do missing teaching children and little this and little that around here. We just do a little of all of it. We do challenges, all kind of things. So,
Yeah.
But we give a voice to the deceased. I let a lot of them, they get to hear from their loved ones and whatnot here. And so far, out of about 9 years worth, I've helped find 13 missing children. Some not so lucky, but at least they were found. So yeah, we do quite a bit here.
He has not confirmed what was found. Some reports suggest that the items were transported to a forensic lab in Halifax.
Now remember, even if they say, all right, say they did get the kids up. Okay. Even they know it was Jack and Lily. If that's them two, because it was 2 children, they will still have to send out for the testing. Now I'm telling you, it can take weeks sometimes to get that back. If a certain person presses on it, maybe a week, but I've seen it be over a month or so long. But they're right at the verge of getting them, because they wouldn't have took that baby away from her and all that good stuff and kept him from seeing it and all this. They already had enough information to get them. So when they go in to get him and her, it ain't going to be a surprise to me if there's not a standoff. And thank God that they took that baby when they did. And thank you for being here from the UK. We've got several from the UK fams here. But we got them all around the world, really. Everybody just in time zone differences from us, you know. But hey, always watch it. Just turn your notifications on all. Well, I can tell you right here, I can clear that up real quick, fast, and in a hurry. And anybody that's been here over a minute or two, they know it. I don't go by what other people say. When I turn on the spirit box, I only listen to the child or the teen and maybe a loved one that's helping them speak. I don't watch other paranormal YouTubers that do the things like I do. I've got a 4-page front and back already on Jack and Lily, and everything that they've said has come true so far. So I don't go that route. I do my own thing, and everything that we got was in the beginning before anybody else had a chance to even say anything about it. Somebody alerted me to it, and I jumped on it and got everything in detail all the way to the finish. But and we do some fun things around here too. We do drawings and things for merch and items and just all kinds of stuff. And some nights it's just crazy nuts. running around here. We just cut it up and talk and carry on. That's been some of my best times in YouTube history for me. Is just cutting up, and for us, it's like we're family. That's the way we see it. So if you subscribe, hit that like button, become a JSV fan.
For further analysis. Police have emphasized that findings remain under review and have not publicly stated whether they relate.
See, what did I tell you? Yeah. Last night, subscribed. Good deal. Last night, yeah, y'all seen the graphics, because I told y'all, before we ended, I said I'm going to show you this up close on the big screen so you could actually see it. Now they're saying this, that they got them up. They're checking the DNA, even if they got full features still left, which I don't know, but they probably already know it's Jack and Lily. And during the spirit box session, it said she's on the deeper end, about a foot apart. And when you looked at that photo, when I held it up to the screen, to the TV, y'all could plainly see two children laying right there in that shallow grave. So it's fitting to come crashing down. I pray they don't do nothing to each other so they can serve their time. But in one instance, I feel that Malaya, she's liable to try something on her own before she gets sent off. She just strikes me as that type of person. She wouldn't be able to handle it, for one. So, but there's justice here that needs to prevail. So, let's just pray that they go ahead and rush them pretty quick, and all they got to do is get that DNA back, and it's fair game.
To the children or to potential suspects. This low-profile but intense operation marks a turning point in the investigation. Until now, the search efforts had largely stalled after initial efforts in early May. The June search indicates that investigators may now be acting on new intelligence or previously overlooked data. However, with no public confirmation of discoveries or charges, the case remains open and still deeply uncertain. The renewed police activity in early June.
And remember, they're still not going to tell us everything yet. Not until it's all done, took care of. They want a good, strong case. So there's no way they can weasel out of it.
Wasn't random. It was the result of a reassessment of earlier evidence and statements, and reportedly, a tip that came in weeks earlier, but wasn't initially acted on. According to sources close to the investigation, RCMP analysts began reviewing the case again in late May 2025, after internal pressure mounted to re-examine all leads with fresh eyes. This included statements from both parents, digital data from their phones, and a closer look at the movements of Daniel Martel, the children's stepfather. It's believed that a civilian-submitted tip, possibly anonymous, reignited interest in a specific wooded area near Lansdowne State.
She was born and raised in a tribal conservation reservation for Tictal Indian. And I guess her mom may be full-blooded. I don't know. But the very day that her children went missing, she left and went to her mama's on the reservation. Didn't do nothing but make her look more guilty. She won't talk to nobody. She's not doing nothing. She's changed everything on her social media platforms. She even had a friend offer to watch the baby so she could go search. And she said, I ain't going searching for a damn thing. So she's unfit for, well, my opinion, she's useless, but in all manners. But I think they are getting down to the point now where they're going to go ahead and get them. And it won't make no difference if she's on a reservation or not anymore. Used to, you could. Or you could flee from here to go to Mexico. Now, they've passed that law now. It don't make no difference what state you go to. They can have you expedited right back. But in that reservation up there, they can go in there and get her anytime they want to. Let's go. It's okay. It's fine.
The tip apparently referenced a previously dismissed location that had come up in early interviews but wasn't fully searched at the time. Investigators reportedly cross-referenced this with cell phone tower data, vehicle movement logs, and satellite images, which showed possible disturbances in the terrain, namely an unusual burn pile visible on an older satellite capture dated sometime between May 3rd and May 8th. Parallel to this, investigators began re-interviewing key individuals, particularly those who were in or near the house on the night of May 1st, when the children were last confirmed to be seen. According to journalists following the case, there were discrepancies in timeline details shared by family members, small inconsistencies that didn't stand out in the early stages, but now seemed more important when placed against the digital forensics timeline. What pushed the RCMP to act in June appears to be a convergence of several factors: the location mentioned in the tip, inconsistencies in personal accounts, and activity patterns from cell phone pings that didn't align with the public narrative. This combination was reportedly enough for police to obtain a search warrant for the new site, which was never officially disclosed to the public but became the focus of the June search. It's also worth noting that around this same time, a forensic anthropologist from Halifax was quietly brought into the case.
My grandma literally kept her computer.
Hurt, get off my cellular device.
While no remains had been confirmed, the involvement of such a specialist indicated that the RCMP were preparing for the possibility of human evidence recovery. Sources close to the investigation say that officers were instructed to treat the search zone as a potential burial site, suggesting
they're not suggesting, they're not procrastinating, they're not waiting, they're not doing all that. That is just fancy talk to throw it off from the public. Don't let them fool you. They've done got it, and now they're working with the DNA. They, kind of like a doctor, how they try to use all these scientific words to you, and you don't know hill of beans of what they talking about. Tell them to settle down and talk where we can understand something, that kind of deal. And all it is just so that they keep it from the public. But yeah, it's fixing to come on out.
a shift in mindset from search and rescue to evidence recovery. The end of the 3-day search in early June.
Why would they make the remark? An evidence bagged up, sent for analysis. I mean, don't take what they say completely right, because it's just to still keep the public in the dark until they're ready to disclose it. Yeah, big words, dictionaries and everything, yeah.
The RCMP confirmed that they had recovered items of interest from the wooded area outside Lansdowne Station. Officers were seen removing several sealed evidence bags from the site, which were later transported for forensic analysis. While police did not disclose the exact contents of those bags.
Let me show y'all something on this. You know how, think back now. Yeah. Let me see the best way to describe this. When you're a kid and you're outside playing, even the women, even girls, you're outside playing, you play house or whatnot. You set you up some, get you some sticks, whatnot, make you a little old hut, to be in, to cover yourself, and play with mud pies in there and everything, but you kind of just make you a little harbor around, you can just stack until you get yourself a little place you can crawl into, now that's what we used to do with kids. We never would hardly come in the house unless it's time to eat. But what they're pointing at shows how the woods has been disturbed and made like an arbor. You know what I mean by arbor? The brush pile is not normal. It's totally hand fixed. And I'll show you that part here just in a second. So if you don't exactly know what an arbor is, then you'll see here in just a second.
Rescue to evidence recovery. At the end of the 3-day search in early June, the RCMP confirmed that they had recovered items of interest from the wooded area outside Lansdowne Station. Officers were seen removing several sealed evidence bags from the site, which were later transported for forensic analysis. While police did not disclose the exact contents of those bags, they stated that the materials were undergoing specialized testing and that a forensic anthropologist had been brought in to assist with the process. According to journalists tracking the case, the specialist was reportedly based in Halifax, though the RCMP have declined.
You see what I'm talking about? It was specifically built that way. And I think it was just a holdover. Because they wanted to put certain items in it. Okay, the kids went this way. They found this. They thought it was cool. Okay, but that's not the way it worked out. That's definitely not the way it worked out. Removing that, it shows some disturbance on the ground. Footprints. If you ain't got one eye to see with, you can still see that. Okay, that's no front page news. Now, they've been through there, remind me, 3 or 4 times they've done walked that same area. And now all of a sudden they find this. Okay, then they go over and start walking along upside the pipeline. That's where one of the dogs hit on. And there you go. Hard homicide. Take a talk to Daniel. Don't know about Malaya. I think her trying to tell her don't unless he's there present or something. Because she's been telling everybody no. Not even coming to the door. It's because she knows her butt's caught. I mean, that's all it is to it. I mean, lying can only go so far. And then there's just no more lie to tell on top of a lie. I understand that for any parent that, especially, and I'm going to say it this way because it's 99.9% right. A parent that is on any type of drug, if they're annoyed, you got the kids are screaming and hollering, carrying on, keep making messes, you're going to blow your temper. Now, you may tell people out that you don't, but you're a bold-faced liar if you say that. Children can make you blow up, but you don't discipline your children when you're angry. Now, you can be a little frustrated while and give a little slap on the butt or whatnot like that, yeah. But if you slam a child down on the floor or something other, you know, and the other one standing there crying, carrying on, I bet this stuff happened so quick, just like that. And then she just frantically just like, I'm out of here. But you can't put the blame on just one. I believe this whole time, again, he has been covering for her, despite what her family says, and despite what his family says. But now the truth's coming on out. You deleted your message, Leslie? I think that I think it won't be long now.
To name the individual or clarify whether any human remains were found. Unofficial reports circulated by local media suggest that among the recovered items was a small piece of fabric, potentially a sock or child's clothing, though the RCMP has not confirmed this detail. Authorities also refused to comment on whether the items were found buried, burned, or discarded in the open. What they have emphasized is that the evidence is being treated as potentially significant and is subject to biological testing. The involvement of a forensic anthropologist typically indicates that investigators are preparing for the possibility of partial remains, degraded biological material, or evidence linked to a decomposition site.
There you go. What they're not thinking of, whoever's doing this video here and doing the voiceover, apparently has not looked at the thumbnail for the video that we watched last night. Because if he had, and well, now I put the camera all the way up to the phone so y'all could see it last night. You could plainly see two children laying there. But now he's using words like decompensation, a month's period being out in that weather, buried and stuff. You got all kind of critters, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, they're just doing this to keep people keep watching until they get ready to put it all out there. But that's what these are for. So we got about 4 minutes left of this, and then we'll watch it other, and it's about 8 minutes, and then we'll turn the spirit box on so we can get. Awesome, Pamela. Awesome. Good deal. Dadgummit. Heard homicide. I don't think she's going to speak to nobody unless her lawyer is there. That's if she even has one.
However, as of mid-June, the RCMP have not confirmed the recovery of any human remains in this case. A brief press conference held after the search offered few answers. When asked by reporters whether the items were directly linked to Lily or Jack, the RCMP spokesperson declined to comment, citing ongoing forensic review.
Declined.
Officials stated that test results could take 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the condition.
Told you. A couple of weeks or so.
Of the materials and the need for DNA analysis. The lack of transparency has fueled widespread speculation. Some believe the items could represent a breakthrough, while others worry the search may have turned up nothing definitive. But what's clear is this. For the first time in weeks, police have something physical in hand, and they're treating it seriously enough to bring in top-level forensic expertise. Whether these items will move the case forward remains to be seen. As of mid-June 2025, The RCMP say that forensic testing is ongoing and could take up to 3 weeks before results are available. Samples recovered during the June search have been sent to specialist labs, and investigators are awaiting confirmation on whether the items are biologically significant or directly linked to Lily or Jack. The RCMP have not said.
Again, that's why they're not saying yet that it was Jack and Lily. They're just calling it evidence. They're not saying that they found the remain. Well, they did the other day. They admitted it, but right now, all they want people to know and think is about the DNA to come back. And if so, that's all she wrote.
Whether DNA testing, trace evidence analysis, or decomposition markers are involved, but the level of forensic support now engaged suggests the investigation has entered a far more serious phase. Behind the scenes, authorities are not slowing down. Police confirmed that additional searches are planned, but for operational reasons, these will not be announced to the public ahead of time.
Bless you, love.
Officers are now reportedly working with a narrow...
Everybody throw out a prayer for Tori. Sorry I missed that comment, Tori. Everybody throw out a prayer for Tori to get to feeling better.
Timeline and reevaluated movement data from the household and immediate surroundings. In short, this is no longer a standard missing persons case. The investigation is now officially classified as a criminal matter, and all public updates are being handled by the RCMP's Major Crimes Division. On the evening of June 12th, just days after the renewed search ended, the small town of Lansdowne Station held a candlelight vigil for Lily and Jack. Residents, neighbors, and extended family gathered in silence, holding posters and photographs under fading light. The atmosphere was one of pain, but also confusion. There are still no suspects publicly named, no charges laid, and no confirmed sightings since May 1st. The entire case remains under a cloud of uncertainty. Within the community and online, opinions are deeply divided. Some believe this was a calculated abduction by an unknown perpetrator. Others suspect the explanation may be far more personal, pointing to timeline inconsistencies.
Exactly. Common sense will tell you that. Let's see, what do we do there? And there you go. Let's see. What is it? What is it?
Can you believe these aren't her real teeth?
Aspen Dental's dentures are custom.
The search for the missing Sullivan siblings, Lily and Jack, will resume in the morning.
Brother Jack were living with their mother, Malay. There were no reports from police or child protection services connected to the home. Officials stated there had been no documented incidents. Welfare concerns were prioritized due to their proximity and terrain. These included a nearby wooded patch behind the home, a shallow stream that crossed through part of the property, and a local construction site that was under development nearby. All of these...
They plainly said something like a creek, a lake, a creek. it's just amazing what you can get from the deceased before you can get anything from the living. Let's see.
In the dead of morning, on a quiet road in Nova Scotia, 2 children vanished. Doesn't want to be found. May 2nd, 2025. Lansdowne Station,
They are.
Pictou County. A trailer home sits on Gairloch Road, surrounded by woods that swallow sound. Inside, 6-year-old Lily Sullivan, her pink rain boots by the door, and 4-year-old Jack, clutching his dinosaur obsession, should be safe. But at 10 a.m., a 911 call shatters the quiet. They're gone. It's impossible. This search was different. No helicopters, no desperate calls for volunteers, just a tight 1.5 square kilometers circling the trailer like a noose. Searchers battled swamps, ticks, shattered trees. Some collapsed, hospitalized, yet they found nothing. Not a boot, not a whisper. Children don't vanish without a trace, unless someone made sure of it. Was the forest ever the answer? Or was it always the home, hiding some? To another case. A father, desperate, each other. Malehia and Daniel, they stand united, unshaken. Why? Malehia's fixation on the kid's talkativeness. They talk to anyone. Feels like fear, not pride.
See, that's stupid right there. If you wasn't trying to hide something, if you wasn't playing something sneaky, why in the world would you care what your children said to somebody in public? That dog won't hunt. Where was that one? Why they hid. Missing teens now turned into a criminal situation. Hit the global news. That one of them little boys that we were talking about the other day, somebody mentioned a little boy's body was found, I believe, in a landfill. There's some texts from Malaya and Jack. Missing children were not seen in public. There is no record, even through store cameras. Mom exposed. Lily and Jack Sullivan. Wherever that one was. Yeah, there's that one where it says remains was found. They put a blue tarp over a wooded spot where they covered it up so nothing could get to it. They were just on the ground, like I said, maybe 1.5 feet, close to 2 feet. They didn't take much time to really dig it too much. Which, Daniel's cousin speaks out. Polygraph test, that was a lie. Breaking something, hold on. Breaking bodies found. Yeah. Her mother's text reveals she has hidden a lot. Right, so with all this going on, we're also learning that she and her mother has postpartum depression. Who gives a flip what they have now after what they done went and did? I got no sympathy for them. What they think just because they're a little bit crazy, somebody gonna feel sorry for them? Flip. You hurt a child, you're lower than dirt in my eyes. I don't care who you are. That's wrong. So, yeah, that dog right there will not hunt. Let's get back up to this one here. Which one was it?
Who apparently wondered.
I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And
they were outside playing, but we wasn't aware of it at the time. She has incriminated herself over and over and over. And she knew that he would take the rap for it. But now, I showed you a picture of him too, where he's doing crocodile tears compared to real tears. I think that he knowed that they found him, and that's why his crying was surreal. It wasn't for the babies. It was because they know they're in trouble. Of course, and it's their right to not tell everybody what exactly they found until everything's analyzed, even if they already know. Like I said, 2 to 3 weeks, they didn't say what was found, and that they put in bags. The two children, they've not said yet, Jack or Lily, but pretty close there to home. Sock and something else. But I guarantee you, her backpack is tied with a piece of rope and a rock around it, and at the bottom of a stream somewhere. I guarantee you that. But Mom exposed Lily and Jack Sullivan's missing reason, and it was exposed by the cousin because he had it on 3-way. I was talking about that earlier. Maybe even authorities having that phone bugged heard every bit of it as well. So yeah, Pamela, they're watching them like a hawk. They probably scared to walk in the kitchen right now. Yeah, they have it. They found it a while back. Yeah, and I noticed that never got turned back in either. And he made a statement. Now remember, he made the statement, not the authorities. That was not her undies and not her blood. I remind you not. They went to every house around, knocked on the door, and asked if they had any female children. Nope. Where did the bloody undies come from? And where do you think they went? It was going in another direction, diverting them from the direction they really needed to go. Yeah. So it's definitely wrapping up here. I expect within the next few weeks we'll hear detail, but by that time, once that DNA comes out, even in the underwear or that sock or blanket, anything, and it has anything of them children on it, hair fiber, whatever, they're going straight to the jailhouse. They're going to be tired of playing with these because they've had too many people out there searching, having to send some of their searchers to the hospital where they fall and get stabbed with broke limbs and whatnot. I mean, they've been going through a mess out there for these children. And that's why they stopped all that mess. And just as they did, and they went back for the second go around, now they found this stuff out in the woods. And they said they wouldn't disclose all the stuff that were found, even the bodies. So they did agree on that it is 2 children's bodies remains. So I think that they did the best thing. Go ahead and take that baby. Because when it boils down to it, Malaya may try something, like I said, if she won't want to go to prison, she won't be able to tolerate it. And he's going to be pissed off because he even if he didn't do it, but he helped cover it up, I mean, he's still going to get 20 to 30 years regardless. He'd probably be 80 or 90 years old time he got out. But her, she'll never see daylight again. Well, guys, it's getting a little bit late here. It's 10:54 already. Mm-hmm. Yep, game over. I'm going to go ahead and cut here, but I want to remind everybody again, if anybody would like to donate, they can hit up my Cash App. And we have things for my hands. Yeah, and if you want to buy some jewelry, if you want to buy some of these tumblers, some joggers, whatnot, let us know.
And we still have the birdhouses.
Yeah, still got the birdhouses. We've got to be able to do that full coverage thing to keep the truck. So if anybody wants to buy anything, do it. And thank you for everything. And I love each and every one of you.